Welcome back. Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations this morning by speaking with Gamali Waldron. She is the technical field assistant of the 4-H and 4-H County Coordinator. I hope I got this title correct.
Yes.
Gamali, good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning to Tobago and all the viewers and listeners.
Of course, a pleasure having you here in studio this morning. So we're talking about 4-H activities for World Food Day. And before we came on, we were just talking about, 4-H and the activities. So tell us a little bit about 4-H. What exactly is 4-H and what are the 4-H's?
All right, so 4-H basically stands for Head, Heart, Hands and Health. And 4-H is a youth development program catered for students, well, within catering towards agriculture, right? Encouraging them to be a part of the agriculture sector within Tobago and just instilling knowledge and practical knowledge as well within them.
All right. So we know that, 4-H has a very large presence in schools, especially in the agricultural field. Well, more so to the agricultural field, I should say.
Yes.
Right. So what I want to ask you is, what does 4-H have currently ongoing? Because I know there's, normally this kind of, you all plan activities in a way where students have things to do throughout the entire school year.
Yes.
So at present, we mentioned before that we have the World Food Day coming up, etc. So what is 4-H doing right now with the children to prepare them for such an activity?
Okay, so currently we have 3 competitions in school: primary, secondary, and ECC as well, or preschool. And these competitions are catered toward each level, right? So for the primary school competition, we have a spoken word, right? Secondary school is an innovation and technology and innovation project, right? And for the ECC, we have My Little Planters. So each competition is tailored for the age groups.
Okay. Would we be able to see some of these plants at the World Food Day
Of course,
celebrations?
of course. So for the preschool or the ECC competition, it's actually going to be judged on October the 16th. That's Thursday of World Food Day at the Shaw Park Food Hub. Right, so I'm looking forward to seeing all the little planters and so forth that was created by the students and parents as well, right? Because we try our best to get the parents and teachers involved, right? So the My Little Planters competition is actually where the students have to create planters using recyclable materials, right? So it is supposed to depict either a farm animal, flowers, horticulture, something of that sort within agriculture, right? So they come and then they will display it and it will be judged accordingly.
Why do you think it is important? Because you started off by saying 4-H is really geared towards youth, young people, and you go into schools. Why do you think it is important for young people or children to get into agriculture, especially at that tender age? Because I know 4-H is also in primary schools as well. And you mentioned ECCE, so even as early as kindergarten level.
Yeah.
Why do you see it as important for them to have the kind of knowledge and skills developed in agriculture?
All right, that's a good question. So we are the division, right? One of our mandates is to ensure that we build a sustainable future, right? And have that outlook for the young people. We want to ensure that they understand from as young as 5 years old, they can be in the garden, right? At present, we have approximately 3 ECC schools that are very much heavily engaged, right, in getting the students involved. So, for example, Mountain George ECC, Little Jewels, right, and there's another primary school in Moriah as well, right, that I'm working with. Right, so I try my best to ensure that the children understand that they can do it as well. And you'll be surprised. They're in the garden with their hats and their little boots and so forth. And, they're watering and they're planting. And they want to know, well, miss, what is this? What is that? And asking a lot of questions. So it's important that we ensure and encourage the younger generation to know that, they can be a part of it as well. And we want to encourage them to also, for them to know that agriculture is not hard, right? It's not hard, right? You could do the simplest thing. We have countertop gardening, microgreens, and all sorts of alternative forms of traditional agriculture, right?
And how did you get into it? Because I am feeling and I'm hearing your passion.
Correct.
It's like you really love this thing, right? So who introduced you to 4-H or agriculture and caused you to have such a passion for this and wanting, not just having a passion, but wanting to share it with other people?
Okay, so my passion actually stemmed from high school. Actually, my agriculture teacher, Miss Ascala George, right? She was, what to say, she was pivotal at that time, right? She really encouraged me to further my studies in agriculture, and that would have led me to go on to studying at UTT actually, right? And from there, you know, I ended up here.
Well, what a journey indeed,
Yeah.
and it's just so amazing that you are able to give of yourself in such a way to these young, impressionable people. I mean, you got your break in, well, your introduction in secondary school, and here you are thinking, perhaps if I had it in primary school. I'm wondering if that's what you are thinking.
Yes, yeah.
So, I must commend your efforts in terms of ensuring that the message is spread, that children understand that they can practically do anything once they're given the right tools. Right, so I want to come back to the competition a little bit. And you were talking about the fact that they have to construct something in a type of shape using recyclable material. So tell us a little bit more about some of the material that they are likely to use and in terms of the creativity, because these young people, these children, they could be really, really creative. And so tell us some of the things that they are likely to use.
Okay, so they could use bottles, drums, plastic, paper bags, so forth, cardboard boxes to construct whatever animal or so forth. For example, a cow, sheep, things like that.
All right. So is the competition only limited? Now I'm hearing little planters, ECCE, and I feel like if, because of that question that Adanna just asked, maybe she's trying to throw herself into the competition because you are encouraging teachers and parents to
Yes.
get involved.
Yes.
So are we allowed to enter that competition?
No. So when I say parent and teacher involvement, you want to ensure that you give the children that support.
That's right.
That you're always behind them and give them that support and encouragement. Because at the end of the day, if the students don't have that support, they tend to just say, well, thing, and not really give that full effort, right? So having the parents and teachers there, it's just to guide them, right, to ensure that the project is done in a timely manner and it is completed correctly.
Now, I am hearing that you are trying your best to encourage other schools to come into the 4-H club.
Yes.
Right? Or encourage schools to actually have the 4-H club present there with them.
Okay.
So if, let's say, we had all of our schools on this morning looking at this interview, what encouraging word would you give to them? Or how would you encourage them to allow the 4-H to be a part of their curriculum in schools?
Okay. So right. So I'm normally at the end of every session, because I do school sessions with most of the 4-H clubs, right? So normally at every session, I would always tell my students or whatever, always give your best and do your best, right? And that agriculture is love. I love saying that. Agriculture is love, right? Joining the 4-H club, it is always going to be an amazing experience, right? I try my best to always be engaged and in the know with my students and always just make them happy. We always try my best to plan field trips, go out to the garden and so forth, and try my best to do in-house competitions as well, right?
And what's next for 4-H Club? I know you're preparing for the competition for World Food Day. What's next for the 4-H Club?
Okay, so after the whole World Food Day celebrations and so forth, we have our induction ceremony that is normally held in November. It is going to be held at the Shore Park Cultural Complex, right? And I'm looking forward to seeing all my lovely students in their uniforms and so forth, and for them to get their pins and to be officially inducted.
Into the 4-H Club.
Right.
I want to mind your business for 2 seconds. Were you a part of the 4-H club when you were younger?
No, actually, while I was in primary school, no.
The reason why I'm asking, do you see 4-H as, well, you did say that you all are heavily involved in agriculture.
Yeah.
Now, agriculture is one of Tobago's what to say, leading areas in terms of our production and stuff, or exports and these type of things. So could you kindly tell us if 4-H is an early introduction for young people? And would you say that it would help young people to get into the field of agriculture and develop them?
Yes, definitely, right? Because one of the things I try to encourage is for students to understand alternative forms of crop production. You don't necessarily have to have a hoe and, you know, do the labor intensive work. There are many other ways you can get into crop production, right? Things like hydroponics, aquaponics, right? Vertical farming, stuff like that you can do at home. Simple structures in your backyard can get you started. Even ceiling production is a good way to get into being an agri-entrepreneur, you know. So that's what I usually tell my students, especially secondary school students as well.
You know, Gamali, you sound so well versed in this, and because I suppose because of your passion and your experiences with it as well, and I must commend you and applaud you for that, because we don't see many young people wanting to get into agriculture for the same reasons you just mentioned in terms of the labor intensive aspect of it, but now providing alternatives that would make it a little bit more attractive and easier for people to get involved in. Let's just wrap up a little bit with reminders about the event that is taking place, the competition, so that people can be aware, they can participate, send their children out, and you know, supporters can come out, of course, to give support to the children.
Okay, right. So our first competition actually coming up would be the 4-H primary school spoken word competition, right? That will be held October the 6th. It's going to be at the Shore Park Cultural Complex, right? And the second one would be the secondary school competition, October 9th. And the final one, to close it off, on World Food Day itself, the primary school or the ECC, sorry, the preschool or the ECC, My Little Planters competition.
Right, so viewers, you heard it here today. The 4-H Club of Tobago is, you know, they have these competitions coming up, and we want to ensure that we have our young people very much involved, participate, and open their minds into the world of agriculture, because the opportunities can, I suppose, be endless if they just get, you know, sometimes you just have to see something and you'll be like, I didn't even know this existed. Once you know it exists, then you know you kind of build the interest there. So come out and support the young people at the Youth in Agriculture 4th Competition World Food Day 2025, October 6th, October 9th, and October 16th. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversations here in studio this morning. And as we go, we invite you to help us.
Share the live, share the live, share the live.
We'll be right back.